Now in 4 News Now at 6, President Donald Trump is already making waves hours after being sworn in. We take a look at some of the executive actions he's taking on his first day in office.
This morning was the coldest of the season so far. I'll let you know if things are going to warm up in your first alert forecast.
Plus, a push for rent control in Washington. Why one lawmaker says it will help keep families in their homes, and another says it's a step in the wrong direction. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
The golden age of America begins right now. From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world.
Well, the celebrations are over. At this hour, it is time to get to work as President Donald Trump prepares for his first full day as Commander-in-Chief once again. Mr. Trump is the second president in U.S. history to serve 2 non-consecutive terms. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Kirsten O'Connor.
And I'm Derek Dice. Because of the cold weather in D.C., the inauguration was held inside the Capitol Rotunda. The president's inauguration speech read like a State of the Union address, hitting on key issues he campaigned on, like energy and immigration.
The golden age of America begins right now. From this day forward, our country will flourish and be respected again all over the world.
President Trump promised to sign around 200 executive orders today. We'll show you some of the changes he's already making coming up in our next half hour at 6:30.
Let us not seek to satisfy our thirst for freedom by drinking from the cup of bitterness and hatred.
Today is also Martin Luther King Jr. Day, and his words from the famous "I Have a Dream" speech were heard by many people in Spokane who gathered to celebrate. While today is a federal holiday, the city of Spokane invited the community to participate in a day on, not a day off, to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
This morning kicked off with a unity rally, which was followed by the annual march through downtown Spokane. Marissa Rio shows us how our community celebrated one of America's prominent civil rights leaders in American history.
Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that.
Cheers erupted as one of the speakers during today's unity rally shared Martin Luther King Jr.'s message of peace and equality. Lyrics from a song written during the civil rights movement echoed throughout the room, conveying a message of hope. In the midst of the rally, everyone turned their attention to the screens at the corner of the room. It was for a video that paid tribute to the late Reverend Happy Watkins. He co-founded today's march and delivered Dr. King's "I Have a Dream" speech every year. Following today's rally, hundreds of people from different walks of life took to the streets of downtown Spokane to march and share the message of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. With signs in their hands, Spokanites braved the frigid temperatures and marched in solidarity as they commemorated the life and legacy of Martin Luther King Jr.
Dr. King stood for humanity, and it's so important that we pass that on to our generation to generation, because we have to stand for human rights.
We both very much remember the civil rights movement in the 60s and marched then, and it's important to be here with our kids and especially with our grandchildren so that we can pass those values on to the next generation.
Today's events exemplified all that Dr. King stood for.
Really shows what he stood up for, and this is what he would want, and it's honestly amazing to see that.
In downtown Spokane, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
Well, today was the coldest morning in more than a year.
Yeah, the big question is, will it be colder tomorrow? Let's send it over to Chief Meteorologist Chris Crocker to find out.
Not quite as cold, as we have some clouds moving in. Those clouds act like a blanket. It is going to be a thin blanket, however. It's already 25 degrees in Spokane. Filtered starlight. The clouds are not especially thick, but they will be increasing. Our satellite and radar, we will have a weak disturbance moving through in a northerly flow that might scare up a few isolated snow flurries very late tonight, after midnight, and into the early morning hours before the morning commute. So do not be surprised if there are some fresh flurries waiting for you as you walk out the door tomorrow morning. These are the temperatures that that will greet you in the teens in Spokane, Coeur d'Alene, St. Mary's, and Kellogg. 20 in Sandpoint, only 6 in Winthrop, and 26 in Lewiston. Right around the Spokane area, 18 in 9 Mile and Meade, as well as Spirit Lake, 17 in Deer Park, and 19 in downtown Spokane, as well as Airway Heights. Hour by hour, we may start the day off with partly cloudy skies, but then our skies clear. Blue skies and sunshine, and a high of only 28. There's a little more snow and a lot more cold in the 7-day forecast. I'll tell you all about it in just a few minutes. Kirsten.
We'll see you then, Chris. A person was killed in a rollover crash near George. It happened on Highway 283 near I-90 yesterday. Washington State Patrol says the driver lost control and went off the road. The 58-year-old man from Marysville died at the scene. At this time, it's unknown if drugs or alcohol were factors.
A man is now in jail for shooting at a woman at a bar in Chattaroy over the weekend. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office says 32-year-old Skylar Jones began arguing with people inside the bar early Sunday morning. The argument eventually moved to the parking lot, where Jones then pulled out a gun and pulled the trigger. A woman was hit in the leg. Jones will be extradited to Spokane, where he will face multiple charges. Well, a piece of legislation that controls rent increases in Washington is one step closer to reality.
Yeah, House Bill 1217 would prevent landlords from raising rent in the first year of a lease. The bill would also cap rent increases at 7% each year after the first. Mary Sheridan joins us in studio now to break down today's narrow House committee vote.
It was a very close vote. In fact, it was 9-8. And the House committee moved Bill 1217 forward with a do-pass recommendation. This specific piece of legislation has been referred to as a hot-button issue. In today's committee meeting, legislators discussed 15 different amendments to this bill aimed to keep rent reasonable for the residents of Washington.
By your vote, substitute House Bill 1217 has been passed as amended.
House Bill 1217 has been the center of discussion amongst Washington lawmakers since the beginning of the 2025 legislative session. The bill, aimed to control steep and sudden rent increases in Washington, passed with due recommendation from the House committee after a proposal of 15 amendments. Of these proposals, 10 failed, 4 were withdrawn, and 1 was adopted. Representative Jeremy Dufault from Washington's 15th District proposed most of these amendments and ultimately voted against the bill. He said he worried this could push local landlords out of the market.
Rent control does not work. It has never worked. Look at any jurisdiction across the country where rent control has been imposed. You will see a decrease in supply.
Sponsor of the bill, Representative Emily Alvarado, argues that the bill is about basic fairness for renters and landlords.
It helps people make sure that they know how high the rent will go so that they can plan and budget. It's a balanced policy that lets landlords raise the rent, invest in the property, make a fair return, pay for repairs, and make a profit.
The chair of this committee meeting concluded the hearing, reminded representatives that over 50% of Washingtonians are renters. We'll continue to follow this bill as it moves through the state legislature. In studio tonight, Mary Sheridan, 4 News Now.
Thank you, Mary. In the Senate, a bill that aims to bring pre-law programs to select community colleges in central and eastern Washington had its first public hearing today. The bill would make approved paralegal education programs required at certain community colleges if they're provided with the money to do so. The senator and sponsor of this bill, Nikki Torres, says making these programs accessible across Washington is just one of the tools in the toolbox needed to address the rising demand for public defenders.
Only 6 of our community colleges offer a pre-law degree. All but 1 is currently housed in Western Washington. So majority of those 5 programs are in Western Washington.
Right now, the pre-law program at Spokane Community College is the only one of its kind in eastern Washington.
Well, TikTok is back up and running in the U.S., but for how long?
We take a look at what's next for one of the most popular social media apps on the planet coming up. Plus, Costco employees could soon be gearing up for a strike. Find out what the union is demanding from the company to avoid a walkout and keep workers off the picket line.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+. 4 News Now. It's brought to you by Carpet Barn.
If you've been in a wreck with a big truck,
you can bet the trucking company has a lot of lawyers working for them.
That's when you call Russell & Hill
to make sure you get all the money you deserve.
Call 800-LAW-0842.
I'm really grateful to be a first-generation student from my family. The ES scholarship was definitely a game changer.
I never knew how easy it was to start a scholarship. Whatever you can give every year. That's how I sold it to my family. We talked a lot, waiting for somebody else to do it. And so we finally decided, no, we're not going to wait. We're going to do it. Graduating from college, it was not even a dream. That's what Eastern has done. We have to continue that. We have to help this precious institution that changed so many lives.
A new year and a new adventure with the perfect Chevy to take you anywhere. With pure power unleashed and future-forward technology. Because every mile matters. And every path leads to new possibilities. Get 2.9% APR plus no monthly payments for 90 days on all 2025 Equinox models. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Magical moments, snowy adventures, warming up, making memories, a winter wonderland. The perfect close-by getaway this winter is Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. Find countless ways to play and plan your escape at cdawinter.com.
Ready to enjoy a vacation close to home? Come stay for less and play for more at the Kootenai Casino. Right now, cozy up in a Kootenai Falls Lodge room for just $59 midweek and $89 on the weekends. An incredible bang for your buck. Join us in January at the Kootenai Casino and win this winter. Book your stay and play now. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
Inauguration Night ABC. After an historic day comes an historic night. David Muir, the ABC News Special. What will President Trump do next? The executive orders, his campaign promises, his inner circle, and inside the inaugural celebrations tonight on ABC.
Well, downtown Medical Lake has seen some big changes. The pandemic and, of course, the Gray Fire really hit local businesses hard, and many are still struggling to keep their heads above water.
But city leaders are working to turn things around and boost growth in the town. Our Hunter Bertram introduces us to a new business there and a new ordinance that'll spruce up Central Medical Lake.
It's no longer an option in Medical Lake for buildings in the downtown area to sit unused. The city says that they will step in and make you do something with the property until it satisfies their new mission of bringing economic and business growth to the central part.
Last February, the City Council passed an ordinance that requires all commercial properties in this central business district on your screen to be in use. If owners do not utilize their buildings, they will face fines.
This ordinance is going to force the hand of people to open their business for business.
City leaders and Kathleen Morse, a new business owner in town, now hope for a business boom in the near future. Morse shared her Medical Lake business venture with me today.
This is my passion. I've never forgotten it. And I do have a European Child.
The European Child opened its bright blue storefront in November. Morse took a gamble by transforming the once veterinary clinic into a baby boutique. And it's kind of funny that this store dedicated to new life is also bringing new life to the town of Medical Lake.
There was no question that I was going to do it here.
Morse fell in love with the area over the years and this building.
When I saw this building, it had been on the market for 4 years. And it's the most beautiful building in the town.
In the front of the building, her store, and in the back, this rental unit she built. A big investment, and she hopes her journey will inspire others to do the same.
I guess I go to the church of positivity. So, I believe that with if you, like Field of Dreams, if you build it, they will come.
In Medical Lake, Hunter Bertram, 4 News Now.
Well, there may soon be picket lines at your local Costco store.
Members of the union authorized a strike unless a new deal is reached with the retailer before January 31st, which is when their contract expires. Workers are asking for better wages and benefits. A strike authorization vote doesn't necessarily mean a strike will take place. They're often used by unions prior to contract extensions. But if the strike goes forward, it's scheduled to start February 1st. Costco has not yet commented on the possible strike.
We got down to 13 degrees this morning in Spokane, the coldest temperature in Spokane in more than a year. Last time we were this cold or colder was January 18th of 2024 when we got down to 7. There is a number lower than 13 in the 7-day forecast. I'll let you know when to expect that after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Car Wash Plaza.
Satay Bistro, Coeur d'Alene's culinary extravaganza of American fusion dining. From our extensive wine cellar to our unforgettably decadent menu, we'll move your experience beyond ordinary to the extraordinary. Satay Bistro, just off the 4th Street exit in Coeur d'Alene.
The future's uncertain, but you're more likely to get a high-paying gig if you're armed with college or career training after high school. WA Grant makes that education affordable or even free. See if you qualify at wagrant.org.
Now that's Montana Sapphire from Phillipsburg, Montana.
Come celebrate the Lunar New Year and the Year of the Snake at the Spokane Convention Center on February 1st. There'll be lion and dragon dancers, cultural performances, community resources, and activities for the whole family. The first 500 attendees will receive a swag bag, plus red envelopes with over $20,000 worth of prizes will be given away. Spokane's Lunar New Year celebration is organized by Spokane United We Stand.
The heart work of Joya is that they come in and they don't just see a diagnosis. They don't see a child with Down syndrome. They see a child who is worth investing in because it's not just about what that child's going to do today or tomorrow. It's about where their life is going to go. Being connected to Joya just gives you a sense that you're not alone. Joya is not just there for Elliot. Joya is there for the whole family.
Satay Bistro, Coeur d'Alene's culinary extravaganza of American fusion dining. From our extensive wine cellar to our unforgettably decadent menu, we'll move your experience beyond ordinary to the extraordinary. Satay Bistro, just off the 4th Street exit in Coeur d'Alene.
The ice is the best I've seen in years.
Well, today's cold weather turned Medical Lake into a skater's paradise. You can see the ice is crystal clear, smooth as can be. This couple said there were hardly any bumps or dips in sight.
This is pretty rare, honestly, to not have snow on it for one and to not be so bumpy. But on top of that, it's clear underneath too, so it's just awesome.
Beautiful. Of course, it's best to be cautious and test the ice before going out on it, especially because, Chris, we haven't seen many of these sub-freezing temperatures this winter.
No.
No, and that thing around his neck, that is a rescue device. This gentleman knows what he's doing going out on the ice. We've had some tragedies. People going out, especially on Lake Pend Oreille when it is not completely frozen. So know what you're doing before you head out on a lake.
For sure. Yeah, smart of him to have it.
Yes, and I think that ice is going to be in pretty good shape because we have got more cold weather coming. In fact, I don't know that we're going to get above freezing. Here's live conditions right now. Mostly cloudy skies and 25 degrees in Spokane. Still reporting clear conditions at the airport in Coeur d'Alene where it is 20 degrees right now. 4 things to know about your weather. We have a weak disturbance that is going to stir up a few snow flurries early tomorrow morning, usually it looks like between about midnight and 4 a.m. It is going to continue to be cold through the 7-day forecast. There's a lot more sunshine in the 7-day forecast, and the possibility of another disturbance coming through late Thursday into Friday that may bring more light snow to the region. Tracking our weather pattern, we have this northerly flow over the region right now, bringing in that cool air, and we're going to see that in some form pretty much through the 7-day forecast. Now, this disturbance coming through overnight, so imperceptible on our weather pattern tracker here, so we are not picking up any snow on that, but we are picking up that northerly flow and the system that's on the way for Thursday into Friday. Here's Thursday at 8 a.m. with this cold front up to our north. That is going to come through in the early morning hours Thursday into Friday and bring that chance of very light snow. Here's Friday at 7 a.m. and that system is already down to our south, so it is not going to amount to much. But that's the only sign of precipitation we have, other than a few flurries late tonight, and then this system coming later in the week. The main headline of the 7-day forecast remains the cold. This is our high temperature trend. The white line right here is our average high. It's at 35 now, goes to 36 by this time next week, but we are down in the 20s and lower 30s through the 7-day forecast. As I mentioned, looks like we may not even get above freezing this week. Tomorrow, temperatures will be in the 20s and right around 30 degrees in the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area around the region. 20s and 30s, 38 in Lewiston, the warm spot on the map, 27 for a high temperature in Colville and 26 in Kalispell. Your planning forecast looks almost completely dry, other than that system coming in Thursday night into Friday and those early morning flurries tomorrow, which again, I don't think either system is going to amount to much. Kirsten.
All right, thank you, Chris. Crews are still trying to get a handle on the wildfires burning in Southern California. They have been burning for almost 2 weeks now, and the area is preparing for yet another Santa Ana wind event. This is the same type of wind that allowed the fires to spread so quickly in the first place. So far, these fires have burned thousands of homes and forced tens of thousands to evacuate.
Hunter Soward shares the story of one family who's now lost their home for the second time because of a wildfire.
The song talks about different stages of life, and the seasons, they go round and round, and the painted ponies go up and down.
Michael and Heather Lyle have been on this carousel before.
Of life. It was like, this can't be happening again.
As a longtime music instructor, Heather's given lessons to people in the Palisades for decades. Her family relocating here after losing their home in 1993 to the old Topanga fire.
I didn't think I'd find my paradise again, and I found it there.
This is what's left of their Palisades paradise. Years of memories marred and melted yet again by flames.
Wow. Honestly, the first 5 days I was just in shock.
They were able to grab pieces of that paradise.
That's everybody who attended our wedding.
Along with 3 photos.
I grabbed, this is my brother and I when we were really little, and he's died.
A ukulele and 2 guitars.
And my brother got it for me.
One with a very special significance.
It is the one connection that I have left to him, really. I don't need a photo. I have him right here on this guitar.
Her next step is trying to get back to doing what she loves, teaching. The studio she was weeks away from moving into also burned. I asked how she continues to find the strength to keep moving.
Well, I'm a 2-time cancer survivor, and I've had this one thing in my head since then, which has been no one or any circumstance will steal my joy.
The Lyles say they are determined to rebuild.
And I have to say, it gets harder and harder.
Determined to stay on the carousel, to keep singing.
We're not victims, we are survivors.
We can only look behind from where we came. And go round and round and round in the circle again.
And that was Hunter Sowards reporting.
The Lyles said they'll continue to lean on the community as they move forward.
A whiplash for TikTok users. It was gone and now it's back. I'm Rena Roy and I'll have the latest on the app's future in the U.S. coming up.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Surf and turf. Surf and turf. Low and slow and oh, roasty beef. 2 of those things for $6.99. Arby's, we have the meat.
At Parker Toyota, our commitment to you begins the moment you drive off the lot in your new vehicle.
We have more Toyota Master Diagnostic technicians than anyone in the Northwest.
That means our technicians are the most experienced at identifying and fixing any mechanical issues, ensuring that your Toyota receives the care it deserves.
Open 7 days a week. Call or go online to schedule your appointment at parkertoyota.com.
When I was told I needed radiation treatment for a brain tumor, I couldn't stop thinking about what could happen to my memories. Those moments I cherish from growing up, of finding myself, of the people I love, of what I've created. But they all just fade away. But when I learned how precise treatment was with Gamma Knife, I was reassured that those moments would be preserved. Because it's not only about protecting the memories I've made, but the ones I have yet to create.
Did you know that Washington's Working Families Tax Credit could put up to $1,200 back in your pocket? If you're part of a low to moderate income household, you could be eligible for a refund designed to help you cover essentials like groceries, gas, or bills. The best part? Applying is free and easy. Visit workingfamiliescredit.wa.gov to see if you qualify. Don't miss out. Apply now and make sure you get the refund you deserve. That's workingfamiliescredit.wa.gov.
I'm a real wild one. Life is wild. There's work to be done, adventure around every corner, and a truck that handles it all. The new 2024 Ford F-150 Wild Edition. It's rugged, loaded with tech, and built to go wild. Get a wild deal on an F-150 today. Lease a 24 F-150 STX 4x4 Wild Edition for just $399 a month for 36 months. Only at your local Ford dealer.
Surf and turf. 2 sandwiches. The sea giveth crispy fish. Oh, for $6.99. Arby's, we have the meat.
Sports on 4 News Now is brought to you by Coeur d'Alene Casino.
Well, welcome back. TikTok is up and running again for Americans after a brief shutdown over the weekend. ByteDance, the Chinese company that owns the popular social media app, bringing it back after President Trump vowed to issue an executive order delaying the federal ban.
But this doesn't mean the app is back for good. ABC's Rena Roy explains what's next for TikTok.
Y'all, are we back?
Whiplash for the 170 million Americans who use TikTok. The app now working again after choosing to shut down for 14 hours over the weekend in response to a federal law banning the app.
Now that TikTok is back, I'll be the first to admit we looked a little crazy crashing out like that, guys.
The controversial bipartisan law forces TikTok's U.S. operations to cut ties with its Chinese owner ByteDance because of national security concerns or shut down. Legally, the law prevents app stores from offering the app for download and prevents updates for current users. The law is now in effect, but both Biden and Trump saying their administrations would not enforce it. Still, TikTok making the decision to go fully dark.
I think we were extremely clear that there was no need to take this action. They chose to do it.
TikTok thanking Donald Trump in its return message. The CEO attending Trump's inauguration ceremony. Trump has vowed to save the app as president, but his legal options are limited. Trump also suggesting the U.S. should own a 50% stake in TikTok without offering details about how that would work. Now, it is important to note that during his first term as president, Trump led the effort to ban TikTok, saying then he believed it posed a risk to national security. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Well, we have much more coming up at 6:30.
Including a sit-down with Rookie of the Year candidate and former Cougs Jaylen Wells on finding success in the NBA.
Plus, within the last few hours, President Trump signed multiple executive orders that impact U.S. climate policy, the IRS, and the U.S. immigration policy. We'll have the latest coming up after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
So you want somewhere to play? We got you. And want some tasty food? We got you. Heard you want to do some shopping? We got you. The live music is always popping at the Coeur d'Alene Casino. Coeur d'Alene Casino. Where winning is just the beginning.
For the professional, it's not enough to possess knowledge. We seek to refine it, to wield its power, to redefine its boundaries. Knowledge is put to the test in every GMC Sierra. Get 0.9% APR on select Sierra 1500 models. That's over $4,200 in average finance savings.
See your local GMC dealer.
With prices of natural gas and propane skyrocketing, your heating bill is getting out of control. But before you turn down the heat, give the experts at Bill's Heating and Air a call. They have the latest in dual fuel technology to keep your family comfortable and the utility bills low. There has never been a better time to upgrade because now every furnace purchase comes with a free heat pump. So call Bill's Heating today to get your free heat pump while supplies last.
Experience the sound, excitement, and fun of the Rod Stewart Hybrid Tribute live on one magical night at Coeur d'Alene Casino Thursday, February 20th. Visit cdacasino.com for tickets.
Winning is just the beginning.
Next ET.
My real name is Halle Berry.
We're unlocking the ET Vault. Filled with over 250 interviews with Halle, the Hollywood trailblazer.
I'm doing it all, you know?
Next.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
A controversial campaign promise.
The Republican platform promises to launch the largest deportation operation in the history of our country.
But what could that mean for your wallet and the safety of the food you eat? 4 News Now is getting answers Wednesday at 6.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Well, Donald Trump is officially the 47th president of the United States. During his first few hours as commander-in-chief, he promised to sign an unprecedented amount of executive orders.
And that includes pardons and promises to secure the border. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez is in Washington with details on the day's events and the many executive orders the president plans during his first week.
President Donald Trump taking the oath of office Monday.
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear.
He's the second president in U.S. history to serve a second term non-consecutively.
I return to the presidency confident and optimistic that we are at the start of a thrilling new era of national success.
Monday's events were held inside the Capitol due to extremely cold weather. Supporters, cabinet members, and political leaders, including the 4 other living presidents, packed inside the rotunda to watch Trump become the 47th president of the United States.
Our power will stop all wars and bring a new spirit of unity to a world that has been angry, violent, and totally unpredictable.
The day full of celebratory events across D.C., including a first honors ceremony to celebrate all branches of the U.S. military. In his speech, Trump laid out an ambitious agenda to tackle what he calls an immigration crisis, including declaring a national emergency at the southern border.
All illegal entry will immediately be halted, and we will begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places from which they came.
Trump later holding an inauguration parade at Capital One Arena for his supporters, where he signed a slew of executive orders, including withdrawing the U.S. from the Paris Climate Agreement. The newly sworn-in president is expected to sign more executive orders in the coming days. In Washington, I'm Ivan Rodriguez.
Well, while President Trump was signing those executive orders, the U.S. Senate confirmed now former Florida Senator Marco Rubio as the next Secretary of State. Rubio is the first of Trump's picks to be confirmed. He was also one of the least controversial of Trump's nominees. The Senate is expected to vote on the other Trump cabinet picks, including former combat veteran and Fox News host Pete Hegseth for Defense Secretary. And state lawmakers from across the country sharing their excitement to work with President Trump, including Idaho Governor Brad Little. Little writing an air of true excitement and hope has overcome our great nation on this historic day. President Trump referenced a revolution of common sense and a new era of fighting for the people who have built this country. All right, let's send it over to Chris Crocker now, who's tracking plenty of sunshine and maybe a little bit of snow in the First Alert Weather Center.
And a lot of cold as well. That was certainly the headline today. This is our highs across the region today. Many locations staying in the 20s and even teens in Winthrop and at Lookout Pass. Only 16 for a high, just above freezing in Moses Lake and Lewiston. And we're going to be even colder tomorrow. We started the day off at 13 degrees. That is the coldest weather we have had in Spokane in more than a year. Now, we're not going to be quite as cold tomorrow morning thanks to the clouds that are streaming through the region. Those clouds could bring some isolated snow flurries after midnight, wrapping up long before the morning commute, but there may be a few fresh snowflakes on the roads as you head out the door. Tuesday morning lows, we're going to be in the single digits in Winthrop, the teens in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, 20s in Pullman and Lewiston, as well as Ritzville. A closer look shows temperatures mostly in the teens right around the Spokane and Coeur d'Alene area. And then we warm up to a high of only 28. But there will be a lot of sunshine to go along with that cold weather. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast and tell you about the next chance for some snow in just a few minutes. Kirsten?
We'll see you then, Chris. Well, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. served a life of service, which is why the MLK Jr. Family Outreach Center hosted a resource fair following today's march.
Yeah, the fair hosted dozens of organizations hoping to share the services and resources they offer to make our community a better place. Madeline Mullins tells us what these services are and how they honor Dr. King's legacy.
Fostering a strong sense of community and leadership, and that's one of the things that we've really been focusing on today.
That strong sense of community can be seen through the hundreds of people who showed up to the resource fair.
We joined in the rally, we just did the march, so we were out in, very, very cold weather, just being one with the community for unity.
And through the community-focused services provided by these organizations.
We provide a variety of social and educational programs to primarily low-income children, youth, and families.
Organizations at the fair varied from classes aimed at helping people purchase their first home to scholarship programs that help pay for a student's education.
Not only is this resource fair a way for people to find services they may need, but it's also a way for people to connect with organizations that they may want to volunteer at or donate to.
Dr. King expressed the importance of service and giving back to others. And here we gathered and assembled a lot of nonprofits, so you can do that.
And while today focused on the programs currently available, many spoke about the work that still needs to be done.
Until all people feel supported and included, we will always have equity work to do.
Work that Martin Luther King Jr. helped pave the way for, and future generations want to continue.
He was a really important person, and it's really important to remember what he fought for, civil rights, and that fight is still going on. So living here in Spokane, I want to show that I support that and that I'm fighting for it too.
In Spokane, I'm Madeline Mullins, 4 News Now.
Well, gas prices are slowly starting to creep up, at least in Spokane, in tonight's Story Tracker. According to Gas Buddy, you can expect to pay around $3.46 a gallon. That is 4 cents more than last week. Spokane follows the national trend as gas prices rose nearly 7 cents. In Idaho, prices went down by 2 cents, averaging around $2.99 a gallon. Well, if you haven't heard yet, former Coug Jaylen Wells is being considered for NBA Rookie of the Year.
Less than a year ago, Wells was helping the Cougs get back to the NCAA NCAA tournament after a 16-year drought, Sydney.
Yeah, just seeing where he's gone from that point last March to now is just so cool to watch. So coming up next in sports, we'll hear from Wells on his transition from WSU to the Memphis Grizzlies, plus what he's seeing out of this current Cougar team.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Bigfoot Mechanical.
I got a call about a body?
We're going to get to the bottom of this. You don't seem like you belong here.
That guy's a handyman.
You murdered a 17-year-old. Are you looking for something? We have an emergency.
New Trend, Tuesday on ABC.
Ready to enjoy a vacation close to home? Come stay for less and play for more at the Kootenai Casino. Right now, cozy up in a Kootenai Falls Lodge room for just $59 midweek and $89 on the weekends. An incredible bang for your buck. Join us in January at the Kootenai Casino and win this winter. Book your stay and play now. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
Why is a touchless wash best? Touchless doesn't smack and beat your vehicle with rags and raw brushes with the risk of scratches. Instead, we have multiple nozzles that deliver powerful 800 PSI water jets, covering everything from the sides, the roof, and even the undercarriage. Our mixtures remove dirt, grime, and those nasty, nasty street chemicals.
Car Wash Plaza, it's the best in the Northwest.
I'm Chad Young from the EasyHomebuyer.com, Spokane and Coeur d'Alene's easiest way to sell your house fast. If you have a few moments, I hope you'll give me the opportunity to make you an instant cash offer on your home. With the EasyHomebuyer.com, we will buy your house in as-is condition with no repairs, no closing costs, and no commissions. To get your no-obligation cash offer, give us a call or visit us online at theeasyhomebuyer.com.
Pick up the phone to inquire. Call the Easy Home Buyer.
Papa Murphy's new cheesy stuffed crust pizza. Made fresh by us, baked fresh by you. It's the hottest, meltiest stuffed crust pizza you'll ever have. Starting at $13.99.
It's incredible how many lives Idols changed.
It proves that dreams really do come true.
This is the place where it all started for me.
You never forget that moment that changed everything. If you're dreaming out there, please keep dreaming.
Is our next American Idol among us today? Ladies and gentlemen, the Commodores.
The winner is Carrie Underwood. American Idol's next chapter begins March 9th on ABC.
It was a tough long weekend for the Gonzaga Bulldogs, who just lost 2 conference games back-to-back.
2 WCC losses in a row. Hasn't happened to this program since 2014. Sydney Berger is in studio with what the Zags have to clean up before the next time out.
Well, if you're paying attention, you know the answer is pretty simple here. The defense has to step it up because for the first time ever in McCarthy Athletic Center, the Zags allowed an opponent to drop over 100 points. And now the Zags are dropping out of this week's AP Top 25. Gonzaga peaked this season at the number 3 spot in the country. That was in week 3 of the season. This week they received just 34 votes for a spot in the top 25, so they're missing out for now. It's possible for the Zags to get back on track with a manageable game against Portland this Saturday, but then they're back at home against Oregon State, who they just lost to on the road, following a trip to California to take on St. Mary's. Well, Eastern Washington is on the road taking on Montana State tonight. That game tipped off at 6 o'clock. Here's the latest score we've got. It's 24-20. The Eagles lead by 4. A couple lead changes in there. They're keeping it close. We'll check in later tonight on Nightside. From D2 to D1 to the big stage, former Washington State Coug Jaylen Wells is making a name for himself in the pros and is at the top of the list for NBA Rookie of the Year. While maybe painted as an underdog, Wells trains with the opposite mentality, and now he's getting the recognition he deserves.
A rookie talent that seemed to come out of nowhere, but for those watching Washington State last season, he's a name that's hard to forget.
Jaylen Wells!
Emerging as one of the top picks for Rookie of the Year might be surprising to a few people, but for Wells,
I always worked as if I was going to be the top rookie, so
So being the top rookie is not a surprise to me.
If there was an initial surprise,
I didn't really expect to be playing and starting this early in my career.
he's not just playing, but succeeding. Right now, Wells has the best average points per game by any rookie this season.
Wells, corner three, got it.
And in less than a year's time, he's gone from playing Bronny James and USC to hitting a three-pointer over LeBron.
I didn't really have a chance to really think about it. I just had to go pick up my man. But yeah, after the game, it was everywhere. I probably got texts about that for the next 2 weeks.
Wells was a part of the historic WSU team that got the program to March Madness for the first time in 16 years. The bond with his former teammates, Miles Rice, Parker Garretts, and especially Isaiah Watts, is one that Wells says is for life.
Always talking. We were on FaceTime a couple of days ago. Me, Miles Rice, Parker. So yeah, we always stay in touch. Yeah, I'm watching this game. He's watching my game. So.
Wells says success for the Cougs this year looks a lot like his season last year.
They just seem like they're having fun out there. They seem like a team. They seem like they're one. I think that's what we had on and off the court. We were so together, basically a family. And I know that last year we were just, having fun every game, whether we're losing, winning. Yeah, we stuck together, stuck with it, and, we ended up being successful.
So cool to see that he's still paying attention to his former team. And I asked him if he was going to try to make it to Pullman. Possibly in the works. A little hard to get the one-way flight from Memphis to Pullman, but he said that he wanted to. So
not a lot of breaks in that NBA schedule.
No, exactly.
So we'll forgive him if it doesn't happen this year.
Well, speaking of flying, if you're planning on taking a trip to Europe anytime soon, there are some changes you need to know about. As of January 8th, Americans traveling for less than 6 months to or through the United Kingdom, that includes countries like England, Scotland, and Northern Ireland, you'll need what's known as an electronic travel authorization. It's basically a digital registration to get into the UK.
That is something that you apply for with the UK government, gov.uk.
So all U.S. citizens traveling, even children under 18, need to apply through the UK government website or through the app on their website. You'll need to upload a photo of your passport as well as a photo of yourself and answer various questions about your trip.
For things to know about your weather, we have the possibility of some early morning snow flurries over by the morning commute. Continued cold weather, more sunshine in the forecast with a little bit of light snow Thursday into Friday. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast after the break.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Come celebrate the Lunar New Year and the Year of the Snake at the Spokane Convention Center on February 1st. There'll be lion and dragon dancers, cultural performances, community resources, and activities for the whole family. The first 500 attendees will receive a swag bag, plus red envelopes with over $20,000 worth of prizes will be given away. Spokane's Lunar New Year celebration is organized by Spokane United We Stand.
For the greatest selection at the lowest prices, come to Cost Less Carpet.
As a general contractor, I bring my clients to Cost Less Carpet so they can see every option.
Everything I need is always in stock.
If it's trendy or new, I'm sure you'll find it here.
And their team of designers are so fun to work with.
It really is worth the experience.
I can find everything for my home or my client's home. No problem.
Shopping here is an awesome experience.
Cost Less Carpet, where inspiration and ideas happen.
It's the region's largest boat show. 10 days of boats, unbeatable deals, and nonstop fun. Explore the region's largest showroom. Unbeatable pricing. Discover better boats, the largest selection of inventory, and the biggest savings, all under one roof. See the latest models from top brands like Cobalt, Malibu, Axis, Regal, Barletta, Cruisers Yachts, Harris, and Chris Craft. Plus an incredible selection of pre-owned boats. The Coeur d'Alene Boat Expo, January 30th through February 8th. A 10-day event you don't want to miss.
Clogged drains are a huge problem and can cost thousands. With Mainstream, you can prevent clogs before they happen. There's no better time than now to call Mainstream and ask about our 83 or it's free drain clearing special. For just $83, we'll send a technician to your home to clear your drain. And if for some reason we can't get it, it's free. With over 20 years of experience, the expert technicians at Mainstream can restore the flow. Call Mainstream today or visit us at mainstreamhomeservices.com to take advantage of this limited time deal.
My name is Bob Rambo, and this is my Summit Cancer Center story. I had lymphoma. I was kind of scared to death, and the doctors recommended I go to Summit Cancer Center. Everybody on the staff there is super neat, nice, and it's kind of like a homecoming. I had lymphoma, and they cured that. I'm very thankful for this cancer center.
4 News Now is brought to you by Craig Swap & Associates.
All right, welcome back. Chris Crocker joins us here once again, and boy, was it cold this morning.
I wanted to ask about your dogs. Oh.
I had to pass on the dog walking duties to my wife because I was working today, and she's not. So I was like, we gotta wait till it's a little warmer.
That would have been the coldest dog walk of the year.
No doubt.
Yeah, I tell you what, though, that sunshine makes up a lot for it.
Yeah.
That definitely helps get your vitamin D and beat those Blue Monday blues. Live conditions right now, 25 degrees in Spokane. It's 20 in Coeur d'Alene, still clear there, but not for long. We have some clouds moving in overnight. Maybe a flurry or two overnight into very early tomorrow morning, and then we'll be clearing out again for more sunshine. Get out and walk that dog in 28-degree weather. That's our high tomorrow, 28 on Wednesday. This white line way up here is our average high. It's at 35 right now. It'll be up at 36 by this time next week, but we'll be down here. It doesn't look like we're going to get above freezing over the next 7 days in Spokane. That may change. However, this is the 8 to 14-day forecast, January 28th through February 3rd. Can't believe we're already talking about February, not too far away. And it is really no signal one way or another above or below average temperatures. The only thing we have to point to are nearby regions where above average temperatures seem to be in place. But as we get into February, maybe getting back to average, and the precipitation a little above average, so perhaps some more mountain snow. And at that point, if our temperatures are average, valley rain and snow. In the meantime, we've got just a hint of snow in our forecast. Tracking our weather pattern overnight tonight, weak disturbance in our northwesterly flow brings us the potential for a few isolated snow flurries, light snow mainly east of the Continental Divide. As we get into Thursday early morning, here's 8 a.m., a cold front begins approaching. We are going to see that moving through during the day on Thursday, and a little bit of light snow late Thursday night into very early Friday morning. Here's Friday at 8 a.m. with that system off to the south, and we are back into clear skies. And with that front moving through, we're going to get a reinforcing shot of cold air. High temperatures tomorrow will be in the 20s to right around 30 degrees, 30 in 9 Mile, downtown Spokane Valley and Liberty Lake, 30 in Coeur d'Alene, only 29 in Meade, as well as Spangle, 28 in Cheney, and at the airport in Spokane. Around the region, temperatures in the 20s and 30s wherever you may travel, including 28 in Sandpoint and Bonners Ferry. And in your planning forecast, a few flurries possible in the early morning hours tomorrow, and then we are going to be staying dry until late Thursday and into Friday, and then a sunny, cold weekend ahead. Derek?
All right, yeah, pretty cool week altogether. Around the world tonight, 1 day in, and the ceasefire between Hamas and Israel is holding. 3 Israeli hostages are now back home after being released from Hamas captivity.
Israel releasing 90 Palestinian prisoners as a part of the ceasefire deal. That is expected to last 6 weeks. ABC's Melissa Adan has more on the hostages who are being reunited with friends and family.
Hugs and tears of joy as 3 women held hostage more than 15 months by Hamas were finally released and reunited with family and friends. Emily Damari, Romy Goen, and Duran Steinbrecher handed from Hamas militants to the Red Cross shortly after the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas took effect early Sunday. Sheba Hospital saying all are in stable condition. One of the hostages, Emily Damari, writing on Instagram, thank you. I'm happiest in the world simply to exist. The dual British-Israeli national adding, I came back to life. Families of hostages gathering in Israel, some waiting for their relatives still in Hamas captivity.
We're not forgetting that this deal is so fragile, and we must make sure that it goes through until the very end, until the very last hostage.
Israel also releasing 90 Palestinian prisoners. 21-year-old Lena Al-Midhoun, one of many Palestinians returning to Gaza. She and her parents finding it completely changed, now mainly rubble, but relieved when they finally reached their home. Lena saying her house was not destroyed. More than 46,000 have died in Gaza, according to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry. The war began after Hamas massacred 1,200 in Israel and kidnapped 250 on October 7th of 2023. Humanitarian aid now flowing through the Rafah border.
We have, full readiness to deliver up to what has been agreed in the ceasefire deal, which is 300 trucks per day from the Egyptian corridor.
The next hostage release is expected on Saturday, and under this first phase, nearly 2,000 Palestinian prisoners and a gradual release of 33 Israeli hostages over the next 6 weeks are expected, noting that not all of the hostages who will be released in this phase are alive. Melissa Don, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And before we go to break, here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
This isn't our dog.
That one?
You never got new glasses, did you?
Well, you didn't know Stanton Optical makes eye care easy.
Exactly.
2 pairs of glasses and a free eye exam for $79. Stanton Optical. Easy's our thing.
If you're looking for an everyday truck like the Tacoma,
Or something a bit bigger, like the Tundra, Colville Toyota has the truck to meet your needs.
both the Tundra and Tacoma are built to last and provide unbeatable performance in their class.
Loaded with the latest tech, with adaptive cruise control and forward collision warning, these trucks are designed to get you safely to your destination.
Come test drive a Tacoma and Tundra today at Colville Toyota, your small town dealership with a big heart.
I felt like there was just no answers to get out of the anxiety and the depression that I had.
I was suicidal all the time, thinking about it nonstop, every day, every moment.
Depression and anxiety rob millions of us of our day-to-day lives, but nothing seems to pull you out of it. Introducing NeuroStim TMS, Washington's leading provider of transcranial magnetic stimulation, or TMS therapy. At NeuroStim TMS, we treat the root of the problem with a series of short daily treatments. Using a non-invasive magnetic field, TMS activates the natural function of the brain's neurotransmitters to improve mood and regulate emotion. TMS is not shock therapy. It's an FDA-approved, easy outpatient experience and covered by all major medical insurances.
There's nothing better than just being able to enjoy life again.
The treatment just completely, fundamentally changed my life.
Visit neurostimtms.com today or call to schedule your free consultation at any of our 12 Washington state locations.
At Stanton Optical, independent eye doctors are available for eye exams whenever you need one. You should have seen me before I got mine. You're so quiet. Are you mad at me? Book your free same-day eye exam at Stanton Optical today.
4 News Now is brought to you by Tracy Jewelers.
Coming up tonight on Nightside, a push for rent control in Washington, why one lawmaker says it will help keep families in their homes, while another says it's a step in the wrong direction. That's at 11.
Cold weather ahead, only in the 20s the next couple of days, with overnight lows down in the teens. Possibility of a few snow flurries overnight. They'll be pretty hit and miss, and another chance of light snow Thursday night into Friday morning.
And boy, those overnight lows, too, really dipping down there.
Yes, we have not had much cold weather this winter, so it is refreshing. Nice reminder that we do live in the inland Northwest, not in Seattle.
Refreshing. What a way to describe it. I like it.
All right, thanks so much for being with us here on 4 News Now at 6.
See you at 11.